Hello, and welcome to Heighton. I started this project about under a month ago. Um, I had the idea to make a fortress on a hill, basically on an isolated hill. Um, I had no idea it would turn out to become this big, this monolith that it is today, but it's nowhere near finished. But I just can't keep on playing it anymore with 15 FPS. uh, the whole hill or the mountain basically is completely and utterly isolated from the main ground. All around, there's no way to get up that isn't a bridge or a great ladder, like for instance here. So it truly is a great fortification in a sense. Um, you see a lot of castles and foundation that look absolutely huge and marvelous, which is they're beautiful, but I wanted to make something that was a little bit more realistic. Um, and while this would probably take in real life hundreds upon hundreds of years to make, um, I think it's much more calm than some of the others I've seen. Yeah, I wanted to make it more realistic. So let's just start with the keep here. This is the main castle, you could say. This is where the lord of the city of Heighton would live and where he would govern. So if you look from top-down view, we have I think this is the outer bailey in castle terms. Um, you have fortifications all around. You have a small barracks here for the, let's say, the honor guard to live, for the guards of this bailey, of this castle. And you have room for that to live, of course. You have a bunch of towers, to keep watch. You have matriculations, of course, right here. Then you come to the real castle. Um, it's higher up, it's the highest point of the whole city. But as you can see, the actual manor, the Great Hall, it's pretty small. Um, which is, I meant to do that, it's meaningful because this is probably in real life, this would be a good sized castle. Just this part right here, this would be on the larger side of castles without any of the other fortifications. This castle right here would probably be a great castle in itself. Um, and it would be a larger castle than most. But as you can see, you have matriculations above, you have a bunch of towers and arrow slits and a bunch of stuff. And I planned this out. So this is the manor. This is the chapel, the small chapel where the church basically. And this is the dining area, or the real great hall, where you would sit and eat and look out to the wonderful view above. Um, and this is the kitchen, and this is kind of a service area along with a small armory for the guards. Um, then of course you have the manor itself, which is this is probably where you would have the main living room and stuff like that. But of course I don't plan out the inside. I'm not that ridiculous. This is the main, I would say, the main barracks, main trading area. This was one of the last real things that I've done, which I didn't really manage to finish. But I think it looks pretty decent considering. It has a very large barracks, because if you imagine all of the fortifications here at full capacity, if there was a siege going on, you could maybe man 1,000 men on these walls, 1,000 bowmen, and probably more soldiers at every opening, which of there are only two, the main gatehouse here and the secondary gatehouse here. Um, so I decided to make a really big one, just because that would probably be realistic. Um, But let's go to the actual city part now, and let's not think about these fortifications. The city started right here. I've removed the original terrain thing, but it was right here, and it started with this town center, of course. And then I built this market around, and the real big first addition, the real big city, was these houses right here. I think this little residential area were the first houses that I placed down, along with, of course, the terrain here. And I built this little thing to keep as the main area basically, and with the stairs down. I built my church here. It was a rustic church. Was Didn't look that good. Looks much better now, obviously. And I had really fun making all of these stairs. If I can, you can just see it in action. Making all of these stairs as they go up. I had a lot of fun doing that, and in of itself, it was a very rewarding project just making these. And I think this part really came out well. The small little walkway here, beautiful walkway. And you have a little clothes shop right there. And this is really the next part that I did, just going further down. Keep in mind this was all trees around here, there was nothing at all. Just going down, I made this little tavern here, so you could look out. There wasn't walls here, but so you could look out, and this is supposed to be one of the main entrances. So what I did initially, as you can see here, I kind of I made stairs down, but then I realized that that doesn't work, so I installed a Great Ladder mod, and so ever. But yes, continuing on, I don't want to make this too lengthy of a video. Um, Made the city was very beautiful, the hive barn and everything. Um, this used to be the keep where the soldiers were. This is a remnant of it. Uh, but then I made this, of course, this the smaller thing. But the real first fortification, the real first wall that I placed on was this right here. It was this first, only this first segment that goes along. It looked very different back then, because I made some things that were a bit unrealistic. So I changed them, and this is basically the current barracks. This is where all of the soldiers fight. This is where they train. This is where a few of them live. The main armory is here, and so on. But this was really the main fortification for a lot of the time. I'll put some pictures of it that I have. Um, and along with it, I made this church. It didn't have the same design back then, but same idea really. It's called pilastor. It's still gonna call that. So pillar and then stor for big in Swedish with two R's for some reason. But basically the idea was this big tower over this stone pillar that would look out over the landscape. And I changed around many times because I was unsatisfied with it. But I finally managed to find a design that I quite like. Only gripe with it is just the unevenness of some parts, but that doesn't really matter. So I made that, and I decided, well, this would really be a beautiful area to have a bit of, crops and stuff. So I made this monastery, and I really had no idea where to go with this bottom part. After I finished some of this, I'll show a photo right now how it looked like at this point, where I had no idea, if I have one, that is. But I really had no idea how to go forward. So I decided that a main wall or a main walkway right here would be the perfect choice, because of course a lot of people are going to come in here and we need a big wide open space for them to walk. So this main walkway goes around here, it goes here, it follows over. This stairway here was the original first entrance into the city. It went all the way down here, and then there was actually a bridge that went right across here. Um, this is the original walkway, but you see you have small wooden bridges going over. But this was, yeah. So I did that, and it started looking really great. I made this part and decided, okay, we'll make this part next. And all of that was going all well, and then I really, I didn't really know how to proceed because this castle wasn't built yet. I knew that I wanted it to be something here, and I had many plans for this area here, which didn't really pan out. But I had many plans, and I didn't really know how to do it. And then I just took these large terrain boulders and I placed them down to create this elevation. And then everything just clicked. That's when I started building all of these fortifications around. I upgraded the initial entrance gatehouse here to make it much bigger, and of course spanning the entire length around. This is probably one of the most well fortified areas of the whole fort, so the whole city. And from there, I just continued expanding, and I built this outer wall. Now, this outer wall is the least defended, of course, but this probably is still like it would take months and months just to get in here. And even if you did get here, you still have another whole defense to get through in a siege, that is. Um, and this whole thing was really built out of a siege perspective. I thought if they're gonna have a siege, they're probably going to have build like a trebuchet here, and they're gonna shoot it in there. Uh, it was all built very technically. Um, and if you look at this fort or the city out of a fortification perspective, this would probably be basically impenetrable. Um, just because there is no place that a siege tower can get in. Absolutely no place at all. Just because of all of these rocks and the height, this is probably impenetrable. The only way you'll be able to siege this thing is through, well, starving them out. Um, and so basically, this would be probably one of those well fortified towns in the entire world, in my opinion, um, that I know of at least. And so we come to this day where there's still a lot of work to be done. There's still a lot of stuff to add. There's still a lot of stuff that I could talk about. And there's a lot of still a lot of empty places that I would love to add in. But my problems, they're many. First of all, as you might have seen, I'll show it right now. I have 16 FPS, just pause. And when I press play, it doesn't get much better. I have problems with getting food to the markets and stuff, even though I have a plenty. Um, but generally, this project has just been too big to continue. And I would love for somebody to take it on. I'll put the save file in the description and on the Discord. Um, and I would love for somebody to really make this better. I don't have fantasy decorations, mainly because I couldn't get it working with Stone Gate set. Unfortunately, probably for my next spell I'll have that, if I'm lucky. But that's really the most of this castle, and I'm really proud of it. I love how it came out, but there's so much you could really do with this. Um, but there's still again too many problems. As you can see, my money is down the shitter. Like just this stone gate out of the inner wall and the outer wall, that's 600 in what the hell is it called, maintenance, and then there's 200 here, and yeah, 86, and there's so much stuff and so much that I can't really pay for. If I could continue this, the next thing I would do was make this whole outer town basically. I would add wooden defenses all around it and make it looking proper. Uh, Probably move these because this looks a bit unrealistic, especially with this water mills. But this is mostly just to feed the town. And then of course I would fill everything out and make it look good um, and realistic. But honestly, in how it is right now, I'm very proud of it and I'm content with it. So I hope you enjoyed, um, and I hope that you like it, because I like it. I think it's wonderful. I think it's great. It looks amazing. It's semi-realistic, semi-good looking. It's not semi-good. It's fucking good looking, but you know what I mean. I'd love to do more, but yeah, this is how it is. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next one.